was a great win by the Sixers, okay? It's just one game, though, right? We gotta keep that same energy. I said game one was just one game, as I make that obnoxious dance. I get it, but game one was just one game, and I said let's make adjustments. Let's see how let's see how Brett Brown is going to change things up, because we needed to fold that game plan into a ball and throw it in the trash can. And what this Sixers team just did was beautiful, and it started with the defense. Defensively, the intensity was insane. We held them to 17 points in the first quarter. We held them to 38 at the half. And we just brought it. And you have to credit Ben Simmons. This guy right here, all right? Because you might laugh at Kawhi's stat line where he gets 35 points, right? He did some other things. He was kicking it out. What Ben Simmons did defensively on Kawhi Leonard was outstanding. He didn't have the best offensive night, only took 6 shots, missed a layup here and there. What he brought to the table with the intensity and the length on Kawhi Leonard was awesome. It was the difference maker. Even when Kawhi was trying to bring it into the paint early in this game, and we had 3 guys coming in, maybe just putting their hands in and back out, Brett Brown gets credit for that. He made it difficult for Kawhi. Even though Kawhi ends the day with 35 points, shooting 13 of 24 from the field and 3 of 10 from 3. I said this in my Sixers adjustment video before this game. You're not going to stop Kawhi. You can't allow him to score 45. More like 30 to 35. And that's what we held him to. Now listen, okay, it came down to the wire. We held on during a Toronto Raptors pushback. But we executed. We made plays. We answered in the fourth quarter. Thanks to Jimmy Butler, who had 12 fourth quarter points. He finishes the day with 30 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. Fourth quarter, Jimmy doing it again. He bounced back from last game. That pathetic performance from last game. See, this is the one thing that bothers me. We should have been up at halftime by 70 points, 80 points, maybe even 90 points. We were crushing them. They couldn't score. But we weren't executing. 12 turnovers, sloppy plays, some brutal basketball. Jimmy Butler had an inbound play to, I think it was James Ennis wide open. Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons had a miscommunication. No one wanted to go up, and Ben ends up going reverse and misses a layup. We could have been up so much more at half, but self-inflicted wounds allowed Toronto to stay involved. Third quarter, the Raptors bring a big push. We're only up 1. But the Sixers respond with a little bit of a late push there in the third quarter at the end, before it ended. We were outscored 25-18 in that third quarter. But listen, when it came down to it, and it came down to a close battle there late in the fourth, this team responded. Jimmy Butler, being a leader, responded. Joel Embiid with one of the biggest buckets of the night there late, and he struggled. 2 of 7 from the floor. He was sick before the game. He almost didn't go. It was a game-time decision. What's new for him? But we all expected as fans that Joel Embiid would have went this ball game. But he was playing through some sickness. Sickness, the knee. I don't know anymore. I really don't know anymore. But this is what happened down the stretch. Because it was close. I was clinching. It got nerve-wracking. We were up 7. Siakam drains a 3. It's a 4-point game. Jimmy responds with a 3 of his own. We are back up 7. Lowry, after some good defense, they're leaving their feet, kicking it out, Lowry drains a 3. He was a pest all night. He bothered the shit out of me. He was yapping to the refs, pointing on turnovers the wrong way. Shut up. Just shut up. He was annoying to look at the whole game. Jimmy gets fouled to make it a 6-point game. And the fan base is booing the referee. What are you looking at? He literally smacked down on both of his forearms as he was going up at the free throw line. Drains both. 6-point game. Lowry hits another one. Lowry was making buckets late, though. I have to give him credit. Annoying as hell, but he was making his shots. Sixers get a turnover in a 3-point game. But we survive when Embiid takes it hard to the rack. Spin-a-rama on Marc Gasol and finishes the bucket hard. But there were some offensive rebounds from the 5-minute mark on. We allowed 4 huge offensive rebounds that we need to come down with. Tobias with one that was soft. We have to come down with these. Kawhi was making plays. Siakam was getting boards. To not make the games come out like this, just secure those rebounds and it won't be as tight. But I love the way that they came back and found a way to answer late. It wasn't easy. We did hold on. But good teams do that. Good teams do that. Raptors bench only scored 5 points, while our bench, James Ennis and Greg Monroe, had 23 combined points. Now, Greg Monroe ends up having to leave the ball game because of a sprained ankle. Hopefully he's okay. We elect to go with Boban at one point, and the 1 minute he played, Marc Gasol drains a 3, his first bucket of the night. Well, that didn't last very long. We actually had to put Amir Johnson in with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter just for a couple minutes because Embiid needed rest and we had no other options. And hey, he didn't do too bad. We tied this series up 1-1 with Joel Embiid having a horrendous game offensively. And, Ben Simmons not having the best game offensively either. But I will say this. What Ben's job was, what Ben's role was today, shut down Kawhi as best as you can, I'll take that all day. Even though he wasn't contributing insanely offensively, you had Jimmy doing that. You had Jimmy running the point, running the floor. Man, I'll tell you what, I am so impressed with this basketball team in this victory. A lot of people wanted to write us off after game 1. And I said, let's just see. I said, game 2 will be very telling. Let's just see what we come up with. Let's see what Brett Brown comes up with. And you have to applaud this, man. You have to. The game plan, which started defensively, which was the factor in this game, was Brett Brown. He was so happy about it, too. Before the game started today, I'm pumped. Actually, this might have been yesterday. He said, I'm pumped, I'm ready, I'm excited. We have a new game plan. Well, guess what, Brett? That game plan worked. That game plan was special. Now it's, how do we figure out what to do in game 3? How do we maintain keeping it interesting, giving them different looks to get a solid W in game 3? But we were worried about that as the week moves on. Let's just embrace this W. Come on, fellas, that's big. Like I said, keep the same energy, though. Game 1, I didn't get all too worried. I was upset, and I thought to myself, that wasn't pretty, but I didn't say the series was over. And once again, we tied the series up 1-1. This is just one game. But I knew this series would be a battle, so I'm keeping the same energy. This is just one game. Even though I just danced my face off, that's what I do after Sixers wins. That's just part of the nature of the beast here. The Sixers did turn the ball over 20 times. Like I said, we have 12 at half. Well, some I saw said 12 and others I saw said 13. But regardless, we had way too many. We finished with 20. We need to clean that up. Some offensive possessions were dreadful. It wasn't an absolute pretty game. But what I take out of this the most was what we did to make Kawhi Leonard uncomfortable. Still got his, but uncomfortable. Siakam ended up with 21 points, 9 of 25 shooting. Uncomfortable. And it wasn't just Ben one-on-one, although he did great in those moments. But like I said, as he was driving the paint, you get a couple hands in there and you back off. You saw Boston do the same thing to the Greek Freak. But then, at the end of the second, right before the second half ended, the first half ended, we brought some double teams. And I didn't want to do double teams because I didn't want to leave wide open guys like Danny Green, Kyle Lowry. I didn't want to do that. But if you just do it here and there, he's not expecting it. I didn't want to do it where every player double and Kawhi getting on him. But here and there, spurts here and there, Kawhi's like, oh no. Listen. It was big though. Because 1-1 going back to Philly compared to down 0-2, it's insanely different. And you got to give credit to what this team did defensively. And we did it with Joel Embiid probably with the worst performance ever, but he comes up with a monster bucket there on Marc Gasol late, but he was horrendous. He was horrendous. The player of the game, I don't know if it's Jimmy Butler offensively with that 30, 11, and 5 night, or if it's Ben Simmons' defense, because that was just as important as anything else. Anything else that happened in this game with Jimmy Butler, the fourth quarter, 12 points, and Embiid's bucket, whatever the case may be, Ben's defense, and the team around him, but Ben's defense was awesome. So was James Ennis off the bench. So was Craig Monroe, of all people, off the bench. But I don't know if it's Ben Simmons or Jimmy Butler. The Sixers hold on. And I want to know your thoughts down below on the game here, because it was awesome. Awesome. Final score 94-89, and the Sixers get it done. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.